On this episode, I'm going to show you how to install vinyl plank flooring inside a small room like this. So make sure you stay tuned. Welcome to Fix This House. If you're new to the channel, consider pressing the subscribe notification bell so you can always be in tune on DIYs, how-to videos, and product reviews that I do within this channel. This space is a walk-in closet. It's about 60 square feet. It's just going to be a continuation from the old material to the new material, so I'm going to show you how to do that transition. But the very first thing that you want to do is you want to measure how much space is in this here, pretty much the square footage, because that's going to determine how much material you need to buy. When you buy your material, you don't want to buy the exact amount. You want to go a little bit over so that in case you make mistakes, you have some replacements for later, and somewhere down the road, if you do plan to repair some spots, you do have extra pieces to work on. One of the most important part of doing your flooring is preparation. You want to make sure that the floor is prepped before you install this vinyl plank flooring or any type of flooring of your choosing. Let me show you how to do prep. So just looking at the space, you can tell that there's a breakaway on flooring here because this was a wall before that we end up cutting because we're going to put an entry door here. So this we have to close off. These have to be sealed. There's a hole right there. So there's a lot of splatter here from joint compound, paint, and there's probably going to be staples and nails or screws that we need to fix before we start laying anything down. What I like to use is this 4-inch drywall knife, or if you have a scraper of any type, a 5-in-1 scraper will do best. Any tools that I use within this video, I'll leave all the links on the description down below. So that you want to scrape out, start scraping off anything like that. Big clumps like this have to go. Here's a big chunk. So you're gonna have some areas in your floor where there's gonna be staples. Maybe the area that your flooring had carpet before and they had these stripping on the edges that left these staples. It's easy, just get yourself a flathead screwdriver, go underneath them and you can pry them out. And with your pliers, you can pull them out as well. Now you might have areas where there's holes. If you have a circular hole, you can make it easier for yourself and make it a square. You can put some sort of wood underneath and then cut for the hole. And then just screw it in. Just like that. So notice that you have these butt joints from your plywood on the floor. Notice how the butt joints are just nailed to the joist running underneath. Now this is what causes the squeaks on your floor. So this is totally optional and this is preventative stuff that if you want to stop your squeaking for the future, especially if this is a high traffic area, take some screws and screw in a few screws right where the nails are. So this will prevent any squeaking or any creaking in the future. Take a level and try to see if your flooring is nice and leveled. If you have a low spot, like a dip, you can use wood filler, thin set, cement, a leveling compound, anything like that. It's your choice. So when opening a box, it consists of about 7 pieces. Open a few of these boxes and you see that there's different patterns. You want to mix them up. So open them another box. Actually open 3 boxes at the same time and then mix up the pattern so you don't have anything that are 2 boards that are the same. It'll just look weird like that. You want to have it all mixed up. So you're probably wondering, why don't I have underlayment on here? Well, it totally depends on your manufacturer of your flooring. Always go with the manufacturer's instructions. It says here, since there is an attached padding, no additional padding should be used. Never install this product over a secondary pad. Over a concrete slab, a moisture barrier is recommended but not required. This is what's considered a tongue, and this is your groove because this is where it enters in through there. Your tongue, and then you have your groove. Locks in place. So here's a situation where we're transitioning to the old and we're gonna put the new. This one, there's a transition from the tile to the old material. So in order for us to tap the new board, you have to put this little strip. We're gonna screw it right here so that when we tap this, this board doesn't move that way. The tool that I like to use, this Roberts. It comes with a kit, comes with the mallet, the tap, comes with the bar, with these spacers. So you have a option between 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch. What we like to use is the 1/4 inch. Measurement from here to the wall minus 1/4 inch, and that's your measurement. 8 1/4 minus 1/4, so it's going to be 18. We're not going to measure the interlock. We're going to measure from the material to the 18. We mark it, and then we'll cut it. LVP is very easy to cut. You can use your circular saw or any type of saw, but this one you can use your box knife, score it like drywall 2 to 3 times, and then you can just snap it. You just reverse and then snap it. And then just cut the underlayment. Take note, since this is a tongue and groove, and when you're trying to connect the tongue and the groove together, you want to just tap it not too hard, because this is fragile. So if you tap this hard, this will crack, and then if this cracks, then you have to, the board is pretty much useless. You'll probably just use it as a filler piece. But the reason why this huge gaps happen is because your walls aren't perfectly squared. So when you're starting to floor, you're gonna end up with some corners that are just starting to get wider and wider as you go, like what happened to this floor. It just starts getting bigger on the gaps. So when this wall was constructed, it wasn't perfectly squared. So something that happens very commonly on when you start doing these floating floors. Easiest way to do this is just get another plank like this. So this is why it's so important to get extra boards whenever you're getting your floor done or you're doing it by yourself. Order extra boards so that when this situation happens, whether your floor gets damaged, you have extra that you can replace it with. Measure how much gap is it from here all the way to here. Again, we still want to maintain a 1/4 inch for any expansion or contraction on the wall, but this just is too much for the baseboard. This baseboard that we're using is a 1/2 inch baseboard, which is not enough to cover the gap. I'm gonna measure all the way here where it reduces all the way to the 1/4 inch gap. Notice how this has a tongue and a groove. You always want to match it to where the tongue is gonna meet on the groove. We just need a small piece from this to fill this gap. 1/2 inch. From here I'm gonna do 1/2 inch. You can take another board and use that as a straight edge. There we go. Here's the end that we want. Notice that it's 1/2 inch and it just reduces all the way to nothing on the other side. When you cut this, you can use your table saw, you can use your circular saw, jigsaw. I'll just use my regular oscillating tool to cut this and take my time. Okay, so let's cut this off. So here's the oscillating tool that I use. I really like this oscillating tool. It's by Works. If you're interested on any tools that I use within this video, I'll leave all the links on the description down below. I have a scrap piece of flooring here. I'm just gonna use that on the bottom so I don't ruin my real flooring. It doesn't really matter if you have that, but this is the piece that we're looking for. See how it just reduces to nothing on the edge. Want to clean up the edge as well. If you have any of these burrs, if you have a box knife, just be careful. Just kind of take out those burrs. So just make sure that the inside here is clean, no debris. And also on the groove, there are no debris as well, because that could affect where this will fall into. 1/2 inch gap is gonna deplete. right there. And then you're just gonna follow it through like that. Take your flooring pull bar and mallet. Give this a good tap. Here's the situation, and I bet you this is gonna happen to you. When you're putting on something such a small piece like this, it's gonna fall off. When you start tapping it in, it's gonna fall off. So the one thing that I highly recommend is just go and super glue this piece to the place right there. Take yourself some glue and this 2P10 spray, this activator and super glue. If you need one of these, I'll leave the link on the description down below. Carefully apply the super glue on the groove. Make sure that you only apply on the groove and not on the floor. Right here. Okay, so we're gonna stop right there because this is how far the length goes. Now you can carefully put this back on. Okay, just don't touch the super glue. Okay, just like that. Easy. Take your activator and just spray the whole run. Once you spray it, get yourself a microfiber towel or a towel. Wipe it, and it should be in place. Everything is locked in place. No matter what, even if you go like this, that floor that you just put on will not come out. That's it. That's the beauty of super glue and activator. Take your baseboard and the gap is gone. Now I'm not gonna nail it to the wall yet. Let me show you. So let me show you the before. Okay, and this is the after. Here's our baseboard. There is no more gap. We got into this vent. You notice how there's a lot of openings, just like gaps around this air vent. You don't want to leave that open. It's totally up to you what you want to use, but for me, I like to use this gap filler by Great Stuff, and we're gonna fill in those voids and cracks and gaps. So you want to shake this product really well before using it. Screw the nozzle on the top. Now you want to use nitrile gloves when handling this stuff because it gets very sticky. You know, it's very hard to take this off your hands once you get it on there, but just make sure that you get all these cracks. So that should be fine. It comes tack free in about 15 minutes, but fully cured, it's gonna take about 8 hours. So it's good to do this overnight so that when you wake up, you can continue on with your project. This sat overnight, so more than 8 hours. Everything is nice and hard, it's cured. Take your utility knife. So now we have a full board touching the wall. You don't want to put another full board because you're going to be cutting around this vent. You want to have to reduce the size of the other one so you still have the staggering effect. You need at least a minimum of 6 inches of stagger. So we're going to measure 6 inches from the edge up here. With a thick 6-inch stagger right there, you see the butt joint on here. Instead of measuring this from edge to edge, make it easier for yourself. Place your spacer, 1/4 inch on the edge. Measure where the edge of the vents are. Measure how far is it from the flooring edge to the edge of the vent duct. And I'm seeing 3 inches. 3 inches from the edge, not the tongue and groove, but from the real edge of the material. Mark 3 inches. That's why it's very important to have a carpenter square. Makes it a lot easier. When cutting flooring, I like to use my oscillating tool. This one's by Works. If you want or interested on the tools that I use within this video, including this one, I'll leave all the links on the description down below. Six and a quarter. There you have it, friends. That's how easily you can install these floating floors. Just remember all those little key tips and tricks, and make sure that you keep a 1/4 inch all the way around the perimeter for expansion. Again, friends, thank you so much for the love and support. If you found this video super helpful, please hit that big thumbs up, press the subscribe notification bell. If you want to see more videos like this on flooring, check out these videos right here. I'll see you on the next video.